Welcome, viewers. My name is Augustine, and I want to appreciate God for all He has been doing in our lives. And I want to notify you that School of Sexual Purity has begun, and today is going to be the first lecture. And I'd like you to follow us, I'd like you to listen, and I'd like you to pay attention. And I believe God that what God has defined for your life, I tell you, even the power of flesh will not be able to stop you. But I tell you what, there are principles, there are system of values, you need to understand, you need to know, there are knowledge that is required. And I believe God that as you follow through this series in School of Sexual Purity, the Lord will make you pure, the Lord will preserve you, the Lord will keep you, the Lord will strengthen you, and not only that, you will see yourself flying on the eagle's wings of the success of God for your life, in the name of Jesus Christ. So I'd like you to follow us on YouTube via our YouTube channel, and also on Facebook, Instagram, and every other social media platform. Thank you, and God bless you. All right, today we'll be looking at the series on a section I captioned the mind. The mind. When you talk about the School of Sexual Purity, I want to let you know something, that sexual purity starts from the mind. Yes, to be sexually pure, the mind is the foundational ground. The mind is the basis of purity. The mind is the basis of purity. The devil knows this. Flesh knows this. Self is aware of this. It's just that many believers today, many sons and daughters of God today, many young Christians today don't understand this. The mind. The devil has succeeded in, twisting. The devil has succeeded in, bending the mind of the young today. And that is why we see a lot of things happening. It's as if sexual purity is not guaranteed. It's as if sexual purity is one big adventure that cannot be accomplished. No, it's not so. It's because the people of God have neglected their mind. So we'll be going on a series which I captioned the mind series. The mind series. This is the first series we'll deal with. So on each video, we deal with a subtitle under the mind series until we finish the mind series, and the other series will come. So you just follow us as we as we see this mind series. What does God have for us in this series of the mind? All right, the first lesson we'll be looking at in this mind series is the concept of the mind. The concept of the mind. Now, what do you think is this mind? That is what we are trying to look at. The mind is the center of the human life. The mind, our mind, is the center of the human life. And without the mind, the human life is irrelevant, worthless, and meaningless. Without the mind, the human life is meaningless, is worthless, and irrelevant. That is why somebody can only be classified as irrelevant in the society or in life when a person goes insane. If somebody goes insane, that is the only criteria that can make you classify that person as meaningless, worthless, irrelevant in the society. Why? Because the person has lost the mind. And so it is the center of the human life. Now, what actually is the mind? The mind is a large integrating center where various formative connections are developed and regulated. Understand this. The mind, I say, is a large integrating center where various formative connections are developed. Not only developed, they are also regulated in the mind. That is why the mind is very, very essential. The mind is very, very important. Now, as you look at this chart, you can find out that the mind has various connections, formative connections, so to say. You can see a connection. You look about the visionary aspect of the mind. You can see the imagination or imaginary aspect of the mind. You can see where the mind has a place of reasoning. The mind has, a seat of wisdom, and the other aspect you are seeing there, that is telling you the mind is a complex chamber. The mind is a complex, integrating center where all these formative connections, they are being developed and they are regulated. So if the mind is not in place, the human life becomes meaningless, becomes worthless, and the person is irrelevant. The next lesson is understanding how your mind works. Many persons don't know how the mind works, and the devil uses all these things against children of God. The devil uses all this against believers. So we want to look at how the mind works, understanding how the mind works. You can get that via the YouTube channel.